The storm lashed the small coastal town of Clearwater, its rain lashing against windows and howling through the streets like a banshee. Waves crashed violently against the rocky shore, sending sprays of salt water high into the air, as if the ocean itself was trying to reclaim the land. It was during this tempest, under the cover of darkness and chaos, that something extraordinary washed ashore, a metallic pod glimmering faintly amidst the debris of the storm. The pod was unlike anything the locals had ever seen. Its surface was smooth and reflective, catching the sporadic flashes of lightning that illuminated the night sky. It emitted a low hum, a sound that seemed to resonate with the storm, drawing the attention of a group of teenagers who had gathered, huddled against the wind at the edge of the beach. Their eyes widened in unison as they beheld the object, a sense of wonder and trepidation blossoming within them. This was no ordinary find. This was something otherworldly, and it filled the air with an electric anticipation. Among the group was Alex, a 16-year-old with tousled hair and an unyielding curiosity that often led them into trouble. They stood at the forefront, captivated by the pod's mysterious glow. Beside Alex was Jamie, the skeptic of the group, arms crossed defiantly as they squinted through the rain. "It's probably just some junk from a shipwreck," Jamie remarked, though even their voice wavered with uncertainty. Then there was Mia, the dreamer, her eyes sparkling with excitement, convinced that this was a sign of something greater. Lastly, there was Sam, the protector, who could feel the weight of responsibility pressing on their shoulders as they scanned the horizon, wary of what dangers might lurk in the storm. "Come on, we have to check it out," Alex urged, their voice barely audible over the roar of the storm. A sense of urgency bubbled within them, a call to adventure that felt almost predestined. After a moment of hesitation, the group agreed, driven by an insatiable need to uncover the truth behind the pod. They dashed towards it, the sand churning beneath their feet, the roar of the ocean a distant memory as they neared their discovery. As they approached, the warmth radiating from the pod enveloped them, contrasting starkly with the chill of the storm. Alex reached out, their fingers brushing against the metallic surface. It felt alive, pulsating gently under their touch, as if it recognized their presence. A soft glow intensified, and the hum grew louder, vibrating in harmony with their heartbeat. The sensation sent shivers down Alex's spine, igniting a sense of wonder mixed with fear. "This is definitely not human," Mia whispered, her breath coming out in visible puffs as they stood in awe. Jamie stepped forward, skepticism etched on their face, but even they could not deny the strange allure of the pod. The group gathered closer, their hearts racing as they exchanged glances filled with excitement and trepidation. "Let's see if we can open it," Alex suggested, determination flaring in their chest. The others nodded, a shared sense of purpose igniting as they began to examine the pod for any means of entry. The storm raged on around them, but in that moment, their world was narrowed down to the metallic sphere glowing in the darkness. With a series of grunts and the combined strength of their bodies, they managed to pry open a panel on the pod. The sound of metal scraping against metal echoed ominously, but it was drowned out by the relentless waves crashing behind them. The panel swung open with a hiss, releasing a warm gust of air that smelled faintly of ozone and something floral, a scent that was both alien and oddly comforting. Inside, they were met with a sight that would forever change their lives. A small figure, a child, curled up in a cocoon of shimmering light. Its skin was a pale, iridescent hue, shifting colors as if reflecting the very essence of the cosmos. The child appeared to be in a deep slumber, long dark lashes resting against its cheeks, and its delicate features held an otherworldly beauty that was both mesmerizing and haunting. For a moment, the group stood in silence, the weight of what they had discovered crashing over them like the waves behind them. Alex's breath caught in their throat, a mixture of disbelief and wonder flooding their senses. They felt a deep, inexplicable connection to the child, It was as if the universe had conspired to bring them together. Memories of their sibling, lost years ago, surged to the forefront of their mind, filling them with a longing that was both painful and sweet. "I can't believe this," Jamie murmured, their skepticism melting away in the face of such undeniable evidence. "What do we do?" "We protect it," Sam declared, their voice steady and filled with conviction. "This child needs us." The others nodded, a silent agreement passing between them, a bond forged in the face of the extraordinary. They leaned closer, unable to tear their eyes away from the alien child. A soft pulse emanated from the pod, and as they drew nearer, the child stirred, a faint glow surrounding it as if it were responding to their presence. "Did you see that?" Mia gasped, her eyes wide with astonishment. "It's waking up!" In that moment, a wave of energy surged through the air, electrifying their surroundings. The hum of the pod intensified, resonating with an urgency that set their hearts racing. The child's eyes fluttered open, revealing deep, shimmering orbs that seemed to hold the secrets of the universe within them. Their gaze locked onto Alex, and in that instant, an unspoken connection formed, a bond that transcended words. Alex felt a rush of emotions surge through them, memories of joy and sorrow flooding their mind. The alien child was more than just a being from another world. It was a mirror reflecting their own pain, their own longing for connection. The realization struck them with the force of a tidal wave, and they took a step closer, their heart pounding in their chest. "Are you okay?" Alex whispered, their voice barely audible. The child's gaze softened, and a warmth radiated from it, wrapping around the group like a protective cocoon. They could feel the child's emotions, curiosity, fear, and an overwhelming sense of loneliness. It was as if the child was reaching out to them, seeking solace in their presence. Suddenly, the tranquility of their moment was shattered by the distant sound of sirens echoing through the storm. Panic surged through the group as they exchanged worried glances. "We have to hide it," Jamie exclaimed, their voice rising above the chaos. "If the military finds out—" "They won't understand," Sam interjected, fear creeping into their voice. "They'll see it as a threat." With urgency, they worked together to close the panel of the pod, shielding the alien child from the prying eyes of the outside world. The storm howled around them, but within their small circle, an unbreakable bond had formed, a promise to protect the innocent being that had crossed their path. As they huddled together, the echoes of their heartbeat mingled with the storm, creating a symphony of life and fear. Each of them felt the weight of the decision they had made, the gravity of their discovery pressing down on them like the weight of the ocean. They had crossed a threshold into the unknown, and there was no turning back. With the pod secured, they retreated to the safety of their homes, adrenaline pumping through their veins as they devised a plan to protect the alien child. The world outside was shifting, unaware of the miracle that had taken place on the stormy shore. But within the hearts of Alex and their friends, a fire had ignited, a determination to uncover the truth and embrace the extraordinary, no matter the cost. Little did they know that the awakening of the alien child would set in motion a series of events that would challenge their understanding of humanity itself. The fate of this otherworldly being, and perhaps the future of mankind, hung precariously in the balance, waiting for the moment when the world would awaken to its own potential for compassion and connection. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an orange glow over the coastal town of Crestview, Alex and their friends gathered in the dimly lit basement of an old boathouse. The faint scent of salt water mingled with the dampness of the air, creating an atmosphere charged with excitement and anxiety. Shadows danced on the walls, shaped by the flickering light of a single bulb hanging precariously from the ceiling. "Are we sure this is a good idea?" Ethan, the skeptic of the group, leaned against a workbench, arms crossed tightly over his chest. His brow furrowed as he glanced at the tarp that concealed their shocking discovery. "This could be dangerous. We don't know what's inside." "Dangerous or amazing?" Maya, the dreamer, shot back, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. She was always the one who saw the potential in the unknown, eager to explore every possibility. What if it's something incredible, something that could change everything? Alex sat at the edge of an old wooden crate, their heart racing. The weight of the moment pressed down on them, and they could feel the palpable tension in the room. "We have to be careful," they finally said, their voice steady yet filled with emotion. "But we can't leave it like this. We have to understand what we found." The memory of their lost sibling flickered in their mind, igniting a spark of determination. This was not just about discovery, it was about connection. "Okay, so what's the plan?" Ethan asked, reluctantly uncrossing his arms. The skepticism in his voice softened, replaced by a hint of curiosity. "We can't just let it sit here." "The first thing we need to do is figure out how to open it," Alex suggested, glancing at Maya and the others. "We need to be smart about this. We have to understand what we're dealing with." "I'll get the tools," Maya chimed in, her excitement infectious as she darted out of the room, leaving Alex and Ethan to discuss their next steps. "What if it's a weapon or something?" Ethan asked quietly, his voice dropping to a whisper. "What if it's dangerous?" Alex shook their head, pushing aside the fear that threatened to creep in. "I don't think so. It feels different, like it's waiting for something." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Waiting for what?" "I don't know," Alex admitted, their thoughts spiraling. "But I feel like it's connected to me, to us. We can't just ignore that." Maya returned, a toolkit clutched tightly in her hands. "I found some old crowbars and a few screwdrivers. Let's see if we can pry it open." Her enthusiasm was infectious, and even Ethan couldn't help but feel a flicker of excitement. As they approached the covered pod, the air thickened with anticipation. Maya pulled back the tarp, revealing the pod's sleek surface, which seemed to pulse softly with a warm glow. The others gathered around, their breath hitching in unison at the sight before them. "What do you think it's made of?" Maya touched the metallic surface, her fingers brushing against it gently. "It feels almost alive." "Or it's just really advanced technology," Ethan replied, his skepticism resurfacing. But even he couldn't deny the strange warmth radiating from the pod. "Let's just try to open it," Alex urged, their heart pounding in their chest. They picked up a crowbar, feeling the weight of the moment. "We need to do this together." With a collective breath, they positioned themselves around the pod, ready to uncover its secrets. Maya and Ethan steadied the pod while Alex inserted the crowbar into a small crevice. They pulled gently, and the metallic surface shifted slightly, emitting a low hum that reverberated through the air. "Did you hear that?" Maya's eyes widened, her excitement palpable. "It's responding to us," Alex whispered, feeling a surge of energy course through their veins. They pushed the crowbar deeper, and with a final, determined heave, the pod began to open, revealing a shimmering interior. Inside, nestled within a soft, glowing light, lay the alien child. Its delicate features were serene, framed by a cascade of luminescent hair that glowed faintly in the dim light. The sight was breathtaking, and the group fell silent, overwhelmed by the gravity of their discovery. Alex moved closer, their heart racing. The child seemed to be sleeping, its small chest rising and falling gently with each breath. "It's beautiful," they breathed, marveling at the otherworldly sight. The warmth of the pod enveloped them, and a sense of peace washed over the group. "Should we touch it?" Maya asked, her voice barely a whisper. "Maybe we should wait," Ethan suggested, a hint of caution returning. "What if it reacts badly?" But Alex couldn't help themselves. They reached out a hand, feeling drawn to the child. It was as if an invisible thread connected them, compelling them to bridge the gap between worlds. As their fingers brushed against the child's skin, a wave of warmth surged through them. In that moment, everything changed. The world around them faded, and Alex was engulfed in a whirlwind of emotions. Memories of laughter, love, sorrow, and longing flooded their mind. They could see their sibling's face, feel the warmth of their embrace, and hear their voice echoing through time. The connection was overwhelming, as if the child was not just an alien, but a mirror reflecting their deepest feelings. The pod hummed with life, resonating with the emotions that coursed through Alex. The alien child stirred, its eyes fluttering open, revealing iridescent orbs that shimmered with an intelligence beyond comprehension. Alex felt a swell of fear and awe, but there was also an undeniable bond forming between them. "Alex?" Maya's voice broke through the haze, but it felt distant, as if echoing from another realm. "I'm okay," Alex replied, but their voice trembled with the weight of the connection. "It's incredible." The alien child shifted, its gaze meeting Alex with an intensity that made their heart race. In that moment, they realized that the creature before them was not merely a being from another world, but a reflection of humanity's own potential. A being capable of understanding, of feeling, and of connecting. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. The warm glow intensified, enveloping the basement in a golden light, and the air crackled with energy. The child's presence resonated with something deep within Alex, awakening a profound realization. The alien child was not just an observer of humanity, it was a part of them, a bridge connecting two worlds. "Do you feel that?" Maya gasped, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's like it knows us," Ethan whispered, his skepticism giving way to awe. The child reached out a small hand, its fingers brushing against Alex's. In that fleeting touch, a flood of images cascaded into Alex's mind. Visions of vast cosmic landscapes, distant galaxies, and beings of light reaching out in unity. It was as if the alien child was sharing its history, revealing that it had watched over humanity for millennia, waiting for the right moment to connect. "Why?" Alex managed to utter, their voice trembling with emotion. "Why us?" The child's expression softened, and for a brief moment, Alex felt an overwhelming sense of compassion wash over them. It was a message without words, a silent understanding that transcended language. The alien child had chosen them because they embodied the very essence of love and connection that bridged the gap between worlds. But as the warmth enveloped them, the sound of sirens wailed in the distance, cutting through the serene atmosphere like a knife. The outside world had begun to encroach on their sacred moment, and the weight of reality crashed down upon them. "We need to hide it," Maya exclaimed, panic rising in her voice. "They can't find out about this." Ethan's eyes darted towards the window. "The military, scientists, they won't understand. We have to protect it." "No!" Alex's voice rang out, filled with conviction. "We can't just lock it away. This is bigger than us. It's about connection, about understanding." The group fell silent, caught between the desire to protect their newfound friend and the fear of the unknown forces converging on them. They could feel the tension rising, the stakes climbing higher than they had ever imagined. The alien child was a beacon of hope, but the world outside was not ready to embrace the unknown. As the sirens grew louder, a sense of urgency filled the room. They had to make a choice, to protect the alien child at all costs, or to risk everything for the chance at something greater. The weight of the moment pressed heavily on their shoulders, and Alex felt a fierce determination rise within them. "Whatever happens, we need to stand together," they said, their voice steady. "We have to show the world that love and connection are stronger than fear." The group exchanged glances, each of them feeling the pull of that truth. In that moment, they understood that their lives had irrevocably changed. They were no longer just teenagers exploring the unknown. They were guardians of a profound legacy that could alter the course of humanity. With newfound resolve, they turned back to the alien child, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The world outside may have been filled with uncertainty, but within the walls of that boathouse, a spark of hope had ignited. A hope that transcended the boundaries of space and time. A hope that echoed the very essence of humanity itself. The vastness of the ocean stretched endlessly beyond the boathouse, waves crashing rhythmically against the shore, while the sun dipped low on the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. Inside, Alex and their friends stood in a tight circle, the air thick with anticipation and a hint of anxiety. The alien child, still nestled within the pod, seemed to radiate a warmth that contrasted sharply with the cool evening air. Each of them felt the pull of that warmth, a magnetic force drawing them closer, urging them to protect what they had discovered. "Whatever happens, we need to stand together," Alex reiterated. Their voice steady, but a tremor of uncertainty lingered beneath the surface. "We have to show the world that love and connection are stronger than fear." The words resonated deeply among the group, and they exchanged glances that spoke volumes. This was no longer just an adventure. It was about safeguarding something monumental. As the light dimmed outside, the pod emitted a soft, pulsating glow, casting an ethereal light on their faces. The child within remained still, a serene expression gracing its features. But Alex could sense something shifting beneath the surface. It was as if the very air around them was charged with an energy that beckoned them to reach out, to connect. Slowly, they approached the pod, their hands trembling slightly as they hovered just above its surface. The moment felt sacred, a convergence of hope, curiosity, and trepidation. As Alex's fingers brushed against the metallic surface, a jolt of warmth surged through them, electrifying their senses. It was as if the pod recognized their presence, responding to their touch with a gentle vibration, a heartbeat that resonated with something deep within their soul. In that instant, Alex felt an overwhelming rush of emotions, loss, longing, and a profound sense of belonging. "Do you feel that?" whispered Mia, her eyes wide with wonder. She leaned closer, captivated by the connection that seemed to bind them to the pod. "It's like it's alive." "It is alive," Alex confirmed, their heart racing. "I can feel it. It's like it knows us." The group fell silent, each of them lost in their own thoughts as they processed the growing realization that this was not just an alien child, it was something far more significant, a vessel of connection between worlds, a bridge that linked humanity to the cosmos. They had stumbled upon a moment that transcended their understanding of existence. Moments later, a soft sigh emerged from the pod, breaking the silence. The alien child stirred, its eyelids fluttering as if awakening from a deep slumber, and a collective breath hitched in the throats of the teens. Time seemed to stretch, each second elongating into eternity as they watched in awe. The child's eyes, a shimmering blend of colors that seemed to shift with every heartbeat, opened fully, locking onto Alex's gaze. In that instant, a wave of emotions flooded through the room. Curiosity, fear, and an overwhelming sense of connection that felt almost tangible. Alex could perceive a myriad of feelings radiating from the alien child: innocence, vulnerability, and an unspoken understanding that transcended words. It was as if the child could sense their hopes and fears, their desires and dreams, intertwining them in an intricate tapestry of empathy. "What do we do now?" Sam, the skeptic of the group, asked breathlessly, his brows furrowed with concern. "We can't just keep it here. What if someone finds out? What if they come to take it away?" "I don't care," Alex replied, their voice firm, fueled by a newfound determination. "We can't let anything happen to it. This is our chance to show the world that we can coexist, that we're capable of understanding something beyond ourselves." Mia nodded, her eyes shimmering with tears. "It's not just a discovery, it's a responsibility. We have to protect it, no matter what." As they spoke, the alien child shifted slightly, its gaze never leaving Alex. In that moment, it felt as though their souls were intertwined, a connection forged through shared pain and loss. Memories of Alex's sibling flooded their mind, of laughter, of love, of the aching void that had remained since they were gone. The alien child seemed to sense this grief, and for the first time, Alex felt a flicker of hope, as if this encounter might hold the key to healing. The child raised its small hand, a delicate gesture that sent a ripple of energy coursing through the room. It was a simple act, yet it held a profound weight, and Alex instinctively reached out, their fingers interlocking with the aliens. In that moment, the world around them faded away, and all that existed was the bond they shared, one that transcended language, culture, and species. "Can you hear me?" Alex whispered, their voice barely above a breath. The child's eyes shifted, reflecting an understanding that transcended spoken words. Though it could not reply in language, a wave of reassurance washed over Alex, filling the void left by their siblings' absence. In that instant, the boathouse transformed into a sanctuary of possibilities, an oasis of connection amid the chaos that lay outside. The outside world may have been filled with uncertainty, but within those walls, a spark of hope ignited, a hope that transcended the boundaries of space and time, echoing the very essence of humanity itself. But as the group began to understand the significance of their discovery, reality crashed upon them like a tidal wave. The outside world would not remain oblivious for long. News would spread, and with it, the inevitable fear and misunderstanding that often accompanied the unknown. They had to act quickly, and they needed a plan. "We can't just hide it," Sam insisted, his voice laced with urgency. "We need to find a way to communicate with it, to understand what it wants. But if we don't protect it, we risk everything." "It's not just about us anymore," Mia added, her brows knitted in thought. "We have to think about the broader implications. If this gets out, we could be the catalyst for something greater, a movement, a change." As they debated their options, the atmosphere shifted. A low hum emanated from the alien child, reverberating through the air like a soothing lullaby. It was as if the child was trying to calm their fears, reminding them that they were not alone in this journey. The sound enveloped them, wrapping them in a cocoon of warmth and safety. "We need to document everything," Alex declared, breaking the tension. "Every moment, every interaction. We need to understand what this child can do, and perhaps even what it knows about us." With a renewed sense of purpose, the group sprang into action, gathering their phones and notebooks, determined to record every detail of their encounter. They spent hours in the boathouse, the air thick with excitement as they shared their findings, observations, and theories. The alien child, ever responsive, seemed to react to their enthusiasm, its energy pulsing in sync with their emotions. As the night wore on, fatigue began to settle in, but the urgency of their mission kept them focused. They took turns documenting their experiences, capturing the nuances of the child's movements and expressions. It was during one of these moments that Alex felt a sudden surge of energy, a connection so profound that it left them breathless. In that moment, the alien child's gaze locked onto Alex's, and a flood of images rushed into their mind. Visions of distant worlds, vibrant landscapes, and celestial beings that danced among the stars. It was a tapestry of existence, woven together by threads of love and connection. Alex gasped, overwhelmed by the beauty of what they were witnessing. The child was not just an alien, it was a messenger, a harbinger of hope from a universe that had long been watching and waiting. As the visions faded, Alex was left breathless, their heart racing. They shared their experience with the group, their voice trembling with emotion. It showed me worlds beyond our imagination, a universe filled with love, with life. It's been watching us, waiting for the right moment." The group fell silent, processing the enormity of what Alex had just revealed. In that moment, they understood that their discovery was far more than a scientific anomaly. It was a pivotal moment in humanity's history, a chance to redefine their place in the cosmos. But as dawn approached, the shadows of reality loomed ever closer. They knew that the outside world would soon come knocking, drawn by curiosity and fear. They needed to find a way to protect the alien child and share its message without allowing it to be misunderstood or exploited. As they formulated plans for the future, a sense of unity enveloped them. They were no longer just a group of teenagers. They were guardians of a transformative legacy, bound together by their shared experiences and a love that transcended the boundaries of existence. The road ahead would be fraught with challenges, but they were ready to face whatever came their way, armed with the knowledge that connection, their connection, held the power to change everything. As the first rays of sunlight spilled over the horizon, the world around Alex and their friends shifted. The warm glow bathed the beach in hues of gold and orange, but the group felt a chill that had little to do with the morning air. The weight of their discovery pressed down on them, an unspoken understanding that their lives were forever altered. They huddled around the pod, a metallic shell that held the weight of the universe within its confines. The alien child lay dormant, its small form still nestled in the warm glow of the pod's interior. The faint pulsing lights flickered like a heartbeat, casting eerie shadows on the sand. And as they watched, Alex felt an inexplicable connection, a tether that seemed to bind them to this being. It was as if the child was a reflection of their own lost innocence, a reminder of the vulnerability they all shared. Determined to uncover the truth, Alex reached out, brushing their fingers against the surface of the pod. The metallic skin felt warm, almost alive. And at that moment, an electric jolt surged through them. The sensation spread from their fingertips, coursing through their body, igniting every nerve ending. It was a moment of recognition, as if the pod had awakened to their presence, acknowledging them in a language beyond words. "Do you feel that?" whispered Mia, the dreamer of the group. Her wide eyes sparkled with wonder, drawing the others closer. They nodded, mesmerized by the connection they were forging with the unknown. The pod vibrated softly, and a low hum resonated in the air. It was a sound that seemed to originate from deep within the earth, a melody that echoed the heartbeat of the universe, intertwining with their own. The atmosphere thickened with anticipation, and the air crackled with energy, heightening their senses. The world around them faded, leaving only the pod and the sleeping child in their focus. With a deep breath, Alex stepped closer. "We have to wake it up," they said, their voice trembling with a mix of fear and excitement. "It's waiting for us." "Are you sure that's a good idea?" Jake, the skeptic, interjected, crossing his arms. "What if it's dangerous? We don't know what's inside there." But deep down, Alex understood this moment was pivotal, a chance at redemption that they could not ignore. "If we don't wake it, we'll never know. We have to take that risk." The group exchanged glances, weighing the gravity of the decision. After a moment of silence, the nods came one by one, a silent agreement binding them together. They stepped closer to the pod, hearts pounding in unison, ready to unveil the mystery that lay within. As Alex carefully placed their hand on the edge of the pod, a rush of warmth enveloped them, as if the pod itself were welcoming their touch. The hum intensified, vibrating through the ground and into their bones. They took another breath, gathering courage, and pushed the hatch open. The moment the hatch creaked, the world around them shifted. A rush of light spilled from the pod, illuminating the beach in a brilliant glow that felt almost otherworldly. The air shimmered, and for a moment, time stood still. The alien child stirred, its eyelids fluttering, a soft gasp escaping its lips as it began to awaken. Mia gasped, stepping back in awe. "It's beautiful," she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. The child's features were delicate, ethereal, with luminescent skin that shimmered like starlight. Its large eyes opened slowly, revealing depths of color that seemed to contain entire galaxies, swirling with emotion and wisdom. The group stood frozen, captivated by the sight before them. Alex felt an overwhelming sense of connection as the child's gaze met theirs. In that instant, they understood that this being was not just a creature from the stars. It was a mirror reflecting their own humanity, their hopes, fears, and dreams. With a soft, cooing sound, the alien child lifted its tiny hands, almost as if to reach out. Alex felt an urge to respond, to bridge the gap between their worlds. Hesitantly, they extended their own hand, palm open. The moment their fingers touched, a wave of energy surged through them, electrifying the air around them. "Can you hear it?" Alex whispered, overwhelmed by the sensation. The child seemed to hum in response, a melodic vibration that resonated deep within their souls. Memories flooded Alex's mind, flashes of laughter, warmth, and the bittersweet weight of loss. The bond they felt transcended the physical. It was a connection rooted in emotion, in the shared experience of existence. But as the rush of euphoria coursed through them, the world outside the secluded beach began to intrude. The distant sound of engines echoed, growing louder as vehicles approached. The weight of reality crashed down upon them, shattering the moment of connection. The thrill of discovery faltered, replaced by the stark reminder of the consequences of their actions. "Guys, we have to hide," Jake urged, his voice laced with panic. "They can't find us here. They'll take the child away." The group scrambled, their initial awe replaced by urgency. They moved to shield the pod and the alien child, a protective barrier against the encroaching world. Fear mingled with determination as they raced to find a hiding place, knowing they couldn't allow anyone to exploit or harm what they had found. As they crouched behind a cluster of rocks, their hearts raced, and Alex could feel the child's energy pulsating nearby, a comforting presence amidst the chaos. "We can't let them take you," Alex vowed softly, glancing at the alien child nestled in the pod, its eyes wide and trusting. "We'll protect you." The sound of footsteps grew closer, voices carrying over the crashing waves. They could hear the unmistakable tone of authority, military personnel, scientists, and reporters drawn by the whispers of an unbelievable discovery. Alex's heart sank. The world wasn't ready for this truth, and they couldn't let it be tainted by fear and misunderstanding. As they peered out from their hiding place, a group of figures emerged, clad in uniforms and armed with cameras and equipment. Flashing lights illuminated the beach, casting sharp shadows that danced ominously along the sand. Alex felt a wave of anxiety wash over them, the weight of responsibility pressing down harder than ever. "We need to create a distraction," Mia suggested, her eyes darting around for options. "Something to draw their attention away from us." "Maybe we can use the tide," Jake replied, his mind racing. "If we make enough noise, they'll have to investigate the water. It's risky, but it might buy us some time." "Let's do it," Alex said, their resolve hardening. They knew they had to act quickly. The connection they felt with the alien child was too precious to allow it to slip away. Together, they devised a plan, ready to embrace the unknown, united by a shared purpose. As they moved to execute their plan, the alien child seemed to sense their urgency. It shifted slightly, its large eyes filled with understanding, as if it knew the stakes of the moment. In that instant, Alex felt a surge of determination. They would not let fear dictate their actions. With a collective breath, they stepped out from their hiding place, ready to face whatever came next. The group moved toward the water, creating splashes and commotion, drawing the attention of the approaching figures. The distant voices grew louder, confusion filling the air as the soldiers and scientists turned their heads toward the chaos. "Look over there," one of the soldiers shouted, pointing toward the teenage group. "They're trying to escape." In that moment of distraction, Alex felt the alien child's energy rise, a shimmering pulse of light radiating from the pod. The child was awake, fully aware and ready to respond to the chaos. With a sudden burst of brilliance, the child lifted its hands, sending waves of vibrant energy cascading through the air. The light enveloped the group, and for a fleeting instant they felt an overwhelming sense of unity, a connection that transcended time and space. "Together!" Alex shouted, feeling the bond between them strengthen. They stood side by side, hands clasped, channeling their collective energy toward the child. The alien responded, its form glowing brighter, harmonizing with their emotions, and in that moment, the world around them faded away. The soldiers stumbled back, shielding their eyes, as a wave of warmth washed over them. The connection forged in that moment was a testament to the power of love, compassion, and understanding, a reminder that they were all part of a greater whole. As the light enveloped them, Alex understood that this was not just a fight for the child. It was a fight for humanity itself. They were not alone in this battle. The alien child had awakened something within them all, a deep-seated desire to connect, to heal, and to embrace the unknown. And as the brilliance of their shared energy illuminated the beach, the world began to shift. The soldiers hesitated, their skepticism giving way to wonder. The tension in the air transformed into a sense of awe, a recognition that something extraordinary was unfolding before their eyes. In that moment, humanity stood at the precipice of change, teetering between fear and hope. The bond forged between the group and the alien child radiated with a promise of connection, understanding, and a future where love could transcend the barriers of existence. As the light dimmed, the energy settled, and the group found themselves standing together, hands still clasped, hearts racing with the exhilaration of what they had just experienced. The soldiers looked on, their expressions shifting from confusion to reverence as they grasped the significance of the moment. Alex turned to their friends, a sense of purpose ignited within them. "We can't let this end here," they said, their voice steady. "We have to share this experience. We have to show the world what it means to connect." The group nodded, an unbreakable bond forged in that moment of unity. They had faced the unknown and emerged stronger, ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they would protect the alien child, carrying its message of love and compassion into a world that desperately needed it. As they stood on the beach, the sun rising higher in the sky, they realized that this was just the beginning. Their journey was far from over, but they were no longer just a group of teenagers. They were guardians of a legacy, bound by the transformative power of connection, ready to redefine their place in the cosmos.